And now, the SleepHawk Worldwide Podcast. Here are your hosts, Brandon Staton and Tyler Hansbrough.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the SleepHawk Worldwide Podcast. This is Sleep Dawg with the big Hawk.
What's up, every day? Oh, wow, every day. What's up, everybody? Hey, it's been a long day.
Weekend. Traveling
across the country back to North Carolina to do a podcast with my guy, Sleep Dawg. Super excited about it. Got a lot going on, Sleep.
Oh, yeah. Big day out there. NBA playoffs. This is like one of the few times I feel like we're recording at a relevant time. Game 7, Sacramento and Golden State just ended. Steph just dropped 50 and probably one of the greatest playoff performances of all time. He won the damn game. They won by like 22, but he won the damn game by himself if you watched it. NFL draft is over. I could tell you about 4 dudes in the draft. Got no clue what's going on. Panthers fans seem really, really happy. I'm not so sure. We'll get into some of that a little bit. Giannis had that interview, and I want to talk about that. His response to a question he was asked about whether he thought the season was a failure. Like, bro, you're the 1 seed, just got bounced in 5 games. Marcus Paige returning to Chapel Hill, joining the Carolina staff. We got transfer portal updates. We'll go through sort of all of the NBA playoff semifinal matchups going on right now. We got all kinds of spicy shit to get into. So we'll start. Dude, Big Hawk, you will just watch what Steph did Sacramento on the road, Game 7. Everybody's wondering, like, dude, if Golden State loses this game, everybody's calling it. The dynasty's over. Steph goes out and has 50, and it was like masterful. Did you just watch this game?
Yeah, and listen, I had Golden State advancing. I was surprised it went to 7 games, and I know a lot of people thought there's no way that the Golden State could really win in Sacramento, especially the way they've been playing this year on the road. But it just goes to show you what culture and winning and experience does for you. And Steph Curry did what Steph Curry does. He hit big shots, made big plays. That's why he gets paid the big bucks. And you can't underestimate him. You can't, what he's doing is he's arguably putting himself in one of the, well, he is. To me, he's the top 10 player of all time.
Yeah, and I was all of a sudden people starting to wonder what I said. Hey, man, it might be top 5. He might be creeping up on top 3. Because the craziest part about the game to me is he reminded me of, because he wasn't just, he was making insane threes, don't get me wrong, but he was also just like carving his way to the basket whenever he wanted. And these are like Steph Curry in the scheme of basketball and NBA basketball players, not that tall. So he's kind of like taking off and like floating from the rim, and these shots he shoots are like sometimes not necessarily even layups. He's 2 or 3 feet from the basket. And there's an extraordinary amount of touch that you got to have to float the ball above the rim from under it, underhanded from 3 or 4 feet away from the hoop. This ain't like dude 6'9" goes up like, dude, if I try to make a layup, it's a 50-50 shot. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even touch the net, okay? Like, if I'm 6'9" and I'm like, my head is at the bottom of the backboard, make a layup's a hell of a lot easier, right? He's not that tall. And I was just blown away. And I sat there and I was like, dude, I have not seen a guy get to the bucket like this since Steve Nash. And he's like Steve Nash blended with somebody else that's also incredible. He's single-handedly, him and Kevon Looney. And so I think Steph single-handedly took this game over, and that's why they won. But I think Kevon Looney's the MVP of that series. I don't think they give out MVPs for first round, but dude, he had 20 rebounds in 3 games.
Yeah, he had a Dennis Rodman playoff series. And I played against Nash, arguably in one of his prime years. The one thing that people don't understand about is very similar to Nash is how much movement Steph Curry and Steve Nash do. That's the one thing that you look at people who try to guard those 2 players and how much movement and how much action the defenders have to guard. It is incredible. And the reason is, you scout these plays and you know what they're going to run. But once you get into the game setting and you actually have to guard that action, multiple screens off the ball screens, different actions, running around, chasing, it is just incredible. how good of shape and how much it goes into just guarding Steph Curry. You brought up Steve Nash. You talk to those players after the game, how exhausted those guys are that had to guard those players. But hell of a series, Steph Curry. He came up big game 7 when they needed, but you brought it up. Looney did his part. And that's been an unbelievable playoff series for Looney. I'm not sure if it's a contract year for him or not, but he's been playing unbelievable.
They said he is the 39th highest paid center in the league.
Well, he won't be if it's his contract year.
He certainly won't, man. And it's like he is such a likable guy because today, so as amazing as Steph was offensively, dude, Looney got what seemed like 50 boards. Like if they missed, he was getting them bored. Offensive, defensive, it didn't really matter. I mean, he led the league in offensive rebounds, which is crazy. And he's not, I don't know how tall. He's 6'10", probably something like that. He's sturdy, fits that team, that role just like so well, setting those screens. A question I have, and this is like a derivative of the Kuminga thing, which I'm not going to get. Kuminga didn't play it again. I'll be interested to see whether he's going to play next series though, because the NBA is so weird. Like it's such a matchup based thing. Like guy can just be no man's like not play at all, and then a role player can get into another series and like I think he's going to guard LeBron James a decent amount, but maybe he's just in the doghouse. But my question is, derivative of that is like, how do you decide whether to go over under a screen? Like you're guarding a guy like Steph, like, and sometimes it's like, are you taking a gamble going under the screen and think you can get back? Or are you always trying to go over that screen?
There's never a time you should go under screen guarding Steph Curry. The reason people go under screens is because they're usually guarding a non-shooter and to keep them outside the lane because they know they're going to drive, especially on a ball screen. You should never, ever go under a screen with Steph because you're just going to give him room and he's going to pull it. Now, if you're talking about off the screen, you're talking about chasing or going under the screen. When he doesn't have the ball, you should usually chase Steph Curry because you don't want to get him any room to get a shot off. Usually when you go under screen, it gives you time to keep that, your offensive player out of the lane or put you in a better position to keep them from getting inside. But
let's look ahead of the next series. Let's take Steph because Steph is just an anomaly, right? Like let's say Austin Reeves, right? You're guarding him on the perimeter, or pick your guy like Jalen Brunson or Jimmy Butler, right? There's some guys out there like Jimmy Butler's an interesting one because he's not really a 3-point shooter, but he will shoot it. So in general, though, you're always trying to go over top of that screen. I'm asking from a curiosity standpoint because everybody chastises certain guys for going under a screen, and I'm like, well, I don't know how the hell they were going to get over it. It was like that's the only path I saw.
So like couch. Andre Iguodala, he would be a guy you'd go under the screen.
Okay,
because a guy you would try to keep, outside,
keep him from getting down the lane.
Also, it comes to also you got to talk about floor spacing. Okay, so if this guy's at half court, you're going to go under the screen. It's going to be very simple because if you chase, you're going to give him, you're going to be in that position behind, and also you got to rely on the big to prevent the offensive player from driving on you. So you kind of leave him in a vulnerable position. But you believe me, you're going to chase Jimmy a lot of times just because you don't want to give him a lot of space, especially Jalen Brunson. He's got it going. But Klay Thompson is another guy you can't go under.
Yeah.
So, those guys, those shooters, especially now in today's game, you're usually chasing or, going over the screen. But also, Sleep, I thought Gary Payton came in and gave some quality minutes for the Warriors.
Yeah.
And I know he's kind of been one of those guys that's in and out of the rotation. And he didn't, like, you look at his stat lineup. It's not mind-blowing or it's not like, ooh, he played a good game. But I thought like he came in and did his part. He had some great defensive possession. He plays smart basketball. And also he's one of those guys in the rotation that can come in, knows the plays, knows the system, knows his role, and then try to be Superman. And I think as you see people who, it's players like that can come in and have a positive impact, and then maybe Kerr gets the confidence up. All right, I'm going to play him a little bit longer. And Gary Payton is one of those guys, I think he might have gotten paid by another team, and
they just brought him back. Yeah, and everybody was upset because they let him and Otto Porter Jr. go in the offseason. Yeah. Then they traded to get him back. He was part of the Wiseman deal. He was the one chip that they got back for Wiseman. Yeah. And then everybody was pissed because then he failed the physical because he was hurt I can't remember what it was that
Portland?
was bothering him. Yeah, he was hurt.
Yeah.
He was hurt from Portland coming back, and the Warriors wanted him so bad that they said, "All right, we'll wait the 3 months. We'll sit him 3 months and bring him back." And he's a player that, is a great defensive presence. God, that team needs defense, dude, because Jordan Poole couldn't guard a mailbox. Wiggins is a good defender. Draymond is a good defender, but he's aging. Clay is no longer a good defender. Steph is a pretty good defender, but he's he's running around the court the whole game. So Peyton plays a big role there, and I think he's still A, getting healthy, B, sort of getting like game acclimated.
He lacks a little size as well.
Yeah,
not the biggest presence,
but he gives you some good minutes. This was one of the worst games I watched him play of the series for himself, and it wasn't a bad game.
Yeah.
It was just like, he made a couple, like, what did he do? Something where he like made a bonehead ass play, and he missed a layup, a couple things that he usually doesn't do. But the crazy part to me is Klay Thompson couldn't throw the ball in the ocean if he was standing on the beach. 4 of 19. Wiggins was 5 of 16. He didn't really look that great offensively. And nobody. I mean, Jordan Poole was awful the whole series. And so you asked me those guys, what did Poole shoot? I'm looking here, 3 for 9. I mean, I didn't think he did that much. And then they win by 20. I mean, it just goes to show, like, dude, Steph could have had 35, which would have been a pretty pedestrian game, and they still would have won the game. I mean, it's such now Sacramento didn't shoot that well. Fox ran out of gas. And here's the thing I think about, they were saying this at the end of the broadcast, which is, everybody's like Sacramento's like the feel good story. You know what I mean? And everybody seems to think that they're like, hey, they've arrived and they're there and all this. The fact of the matter is they were the 3 seed, period. Like, I get you're going up against Golden State, got kind of an unlucky draw because they were maybe a little underseeded. But I think it was Van Gundy that made a really good point. That's like, man, winning in this league is so hard. Like, you don't know if they've arrived or if this was their shot, And so that was a really interesting perspective because, man, they look good and they look like they were still missing a piece, and I'm not sure what it was. I think Sabonis was way better in the regular season than he played in that series. Like, I mean, you look at even what Kevon Looney did and the number of boards he was, Sabonis was just sort of pedestrian numbers, right? Like, he didn't get, and then Harrison Barnes is a great player, but like, he's probably on the backside of his career. They got some young guys or whatnot, but Fox was really their only just like true weapon. And you wonder if they go out and can get someone else, like, what is that going to mean for them? But it was a fascinating series. And the rest of them, aside from the only series that like doesn't really excite me very much is the Heat versus Suns, just because those are probably the 2 best teams like on paper, but they're sort of like boring. Even though KD's not boring at all.
You mean the Nuggets and Suns?
Sorry, yeah. Nuggets and Suns.
Yeah.
It's just sort of a weird. I think the Nuggets are so boring that it makes the series seem boring. But the Heat, Knicks, 76ers, Celtics, and then Golden State, LA. Dude, those are some great series.
Yeah, Sleep. And you bring it up. I don't know why everyone kind of trashes the Nuggets. I mean, they're the 1 seed in the West.
Mm-hmm.
And
they just smoked Phoenix in game 1 too.
Yeah, and I'm not sure anybody actually believes they're going to beat Phoenix, even including myself. And I don't know why I don't give them the respect that they deserve, but they're a good team. Mm-hmm. I'm also after the Suns just destroyed the Clippers, I said the Suns are going to win the whole thing. And then the Nuggets just blow them out the water. So it's going to get interesting, but also Jimmy Butler got hurt today.
I saw that.
And I'm like, ooh, this could
and
get
they
really
won,
interesting. Yeah,
which was also crazy on the road. But like, yeah, they better hope he just rolled his ankle because, if he's out, I mean, come on, dude. I watched a couple of those guys in the first half. I was surprised because I was watching the first half and the Knicks pulled out like maybe 8-10, maybe even 12-point lead, and I was like, they might win by 40. And I kind of was not paying attention for a little while. I looked back, I was like, holy shit, man, they're damn losing. And I'm not a Knicks fan by any means. I'm not I'd say the only teams that I'm really intrigued by or would like root for here, Golden State has a vested interest in 0 minutes, and then I got LeBron and the Lakers. Like, that's the thing here, is the coolest part to me is either Steph or LeBron's gonna be in the conference finals. and or even Kevin Durant. So you're going to have somebody in the conference finals that's like an all-time great on the West side. And then the 76ers Celtics series, that kind of sucks that the seeding fell that way, so they couldn't meet in the Eastern Conference, because I think either one of those teams is going to sweep either of the other two teams, but they're going to play each other now. The winner of that series, you've got to pick to go to the finals if you got half a brain. And then I don't know, man. There's just that Golden State Lakers series is going to be good, and the 76ers Celtics series are going to be really good. I think both of those are going to be great series.
I'm with you, Sleep. If I'm going to pick them, I'm going to go the Celtics come out of the East. I think Embiid, I'm not sure if he's healthy or not, but I know he injured.
They say might sit out game one. Probably will sit out game one. He's doubtful.
Yeah, so I like the Celtics. And then I'm talking about the West. Man, it's hard for me to go against the actually Golden State because of what they've done. I do feel like they're aging.
Yeah.
But I hate to go against LeBron, but I think the Lakers are just satisfied with beating Memphis, which is that Dylan Brooks situation. I mean, couldn't have ended better for us.
What a guy to hate.
Yeah, and it's just, we talked about it early on in here on SHWW, and talked about how the lack of class, lack of respect these players had coming in, and it just shows you, it just backfired right in their face. They haven't won anything. And they went out the way that they deserve. But I do think there's a satisfaction, or, the Lakers are just happy that they beat Memphis. I don't think they get past Golden State. And if I'm being honest, I think the Suns, man. You know what, Sleep? I think the Nuggets are going to get past the Suns. I'm going to go Nuggets and Golden State for the Western Conference Finals. And, man, if I'm picking it, I'm going to go Golden State comes out of the West. I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to, right? Like, I don't even remember what the hell we said last time, because we already picked it in the last round. Now we're just picking it again as if we had got amnesia. I got no clue. I do remember you said Golden State. I think Golden State. So something seems like is under the surface is wrong there, though.
I know.
Like, I think there's still some tension. I think the young guys are absolutely probably frustrated with minutes. I read all kinds of stuff about these guys, and like, I got no idea what to believe, what not to believe. LA definitely is not in that boat. I feel like they're really gelling together. Looney on AD, like I can tell you, I bet LA wanted Sacramento instead of Golden State, because I think Looney and Draymond on AD can really, like, get physical with him and probably make things difficult. I don't know who the hell's going to guard LeBron James. I mean, Wiggins can try, even Kuminga can try. Like, dude, LeBron is just a monster. And then even guys like they got a lot of great role players in LA. That's one of those for me that, like, I think even though I like Kuminga so much and I want him to, like, get some burn, that's just sort of an unrealistic. Who gives a shit? He's not gonna win the MVP and not gonna play in the finals and shit like that. So I mean, I'd really rather see LeBron get another ring personally. I know people either love or hate LeBron. There ain't no just middle of the road on him. But man, you ain't got much time left to watch that guy. He's one of the best you've ever seen. Nuggets, Suns, dude. The thing I have about the Suns is I just don't see they have enough besides Durant and Booker, and I just don't think Booker's a volume shooter and scorer, and there's questions. People are like, is he the guy? And is Durant, fuck that, dude. Durant's like by far the guy in that situation, even if he doesn't score as much. But yeah, I'm with you, man. Like, I don't know. I think that the Nuggets are just structured to be sort of like really flexible to, Jamal Murray is a dude that a lot of people don't pay attention to. He's kind of like the Jalen Brunson of the Western Conference, in my opinion, right? Like, they're going to get the ball in to Jokic, and he's going to get a triple-double. Or when you collapse on him and force him, like, he was 2 for 10 the other night or something. And Murray goes for like 35 or something. They got shooters, they got defenders, they got Aaron Gordon, they got Michael Porter Jr. I mean, they got some really, really good players, like athletic players. So I'm with you, man. I think the Nuggets come out of it. I think I I don't know. If I had to pick right now, I think the Lakers might squeeze Golden State, but there's going to be some epic games in there. There's going to be some epic games in that series. Celtics Sixers, dude, I think this is the crazy thing to me. Well, I think the Heat going to beat the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks are going to beat the Heat. Especially if Jimmy's hurt. We already said that one. The Celtics Sixers series to me is a wild one because, dude, this of all the teams that started in the playoffs, the 76ers were the one team that showed up and did exactly what they were supposed to do. They beat the shit out of the Nets, and like everybody forgot they were in the playoffs. I mean, they got rid of their series so fast. Everybody's like, "Oh shit, yeah, I forgot about the Sixers." I mean, dude, as long as you can get Embiid back, I think the Sixers beat the Celtics, and then they beat the Knicks, and then Lakers Sixers final. This already feels wrong. Like I can talk myself into the wrong answer, and then you look back and say Lakers and 76ers in the finals just doesn't feel like the right answer. But LeBron wins another one. That's my pick. Anyway, man, there's just I don't know, man. We say it all. First time ever that 5, 6, 7, and 8 seed make the semifinals in NBA playoffs. So just a lot of fascinating shit going on. And speaking of surprises, so one of the questions that was a big thing in the news over last week was when the Bucks got ousted. And I want to talk about this because I think it's actually for once I have a valuable opinion on something. Giannis gets asked by the reporter, "Hey, is this season a failure?" And he gets like visibly frustrated, right? And gives probably one of the best answers to a question maybe in the history of the NBA. And he goes on about, this thing will be some shit that they put on a poster and, sell it at the book fair at damn elementary schools across the country, right? Something about everything's a step towards success or something like that. And the reporter caught a lot of heat. And a couple people, everybody had an opinion on it. And I'm kind of piggybacking off of some tweets that I saw from Bomani Jones, friend of the show, former guest. Can't say that about a lot of people. That essentially they were both right. Like this is the thing that people don't understand about people asking those dumbass questions in those press conferences. I know that you're not happy that you lost the game, but you have to say it. So like a lot of times people are like, well, isn't that question obvious? Well, shit, yeah, it's obvious. It's definitely obvious, man. But, like, I can't just right. I bet Giannis is not happy that they lost. Like, as a journalist, you are asking the question, and you have to report how those people actually feel. So in a way, like, he asked you, do you consider this a failure? And it was a very straightforward, matter-of-fact question. And Giannis sort of took exception to it. But without even realizing it, I think he gave exactly the point of asking that question. And what was beautiful about it was that he gave that instead of just getting super pissed at the guy and not like giving a thoughtful answer. So there's really just credit to both of them. I guess even the question wasn't like, any other guy. So if he didn't ask it, somebody else was going to ask it. So it wasn't that provocative of a question. But Giannis's answer was just awesome, like first class, and hard not to root for him after that. I don't know what you think about it. What you think of post-game interviews, you've had to deal with that shit. What the perception is like on the player side, but that's my 2 cents.
I don't know. Obviously, when you're a player like Giannis, you're kind of expected to win a championship every year. That would be like initial thought for a GM. Hey, we have one of the best players in the NBA. Let's fill up the roster and try to give a championship run. I think realistically looking at it, looks like the Bucks have kind of been in and out of injuries. But obviously they didn't have the year that they wanted. But I do like Giannis's answer. And the reason I like that is because to me, it is really true in sports. And the one thing that one of my favorite quotes is, hard work doesn't guarantee success. But without hard work, you're guaranteed no success. And I think a lot of people kind of get a little misguided with, hey, I'm going to put all this work in and then these results are going to come. Now, putting the work in never guarantees you anything. And obviously they didn't have the season that they wanted. But that, to me, they're still building and they still have championship roster. Drew Holiday, They have the Lopez. I like Lopez. I like some of their roster. Chris Middleton, if he can stay healthy and play the way that he did, a few years ago, I think he's going to bring a lot to them. But I think next year comes and they're going to be another top seed and a favorite to win the whole thing. But his answer was great, and it couldn't have been said better. And the reason I say that, and I've always said this, the one thing I love about Giannis is he cannot shoot free throws, but that has never changed his mentality when he plays the game. He always attacks, and he doesn't care. He always goes up there and shoots it, and if he misses it, he misses it. And he never gets complacent or, he never shies away from the moment. And it's one of the mentally from the mental game. The mental game in sports is by far the most difficult. I think you talk about the Mamba mentality. Everyone kind of says the Mamba mentality.
Yeah, ain't nobody got it.
And the thing about it is it's so beautiful is the ability to or having the courage to keep doing the things that you work on and not having the results that you want. I mean, it takes a lot of courage to come down there and miss 15 shots and then take the 16th shot thinking you're going to make it. That's a big deal. And a lot of young players or a lot of players wouldn't take that 16th shot. But, the one thing, if you look at Kobe, he's like, no, I'm taking it. I'm going to make it. And it's one thing that's so beautiful in sports. But, I loved his answer. And, the one thing I do like about Giannis is, after a tough loss like that, he had the courage and he had the balls to go out there and talk to the media. A lot of players like Dylan Brooks and these other guys just walk right out of the locker room. Now, part of being a professional is being able to go out there and answer tough questions and give, the media some type of viewpoint into your mind, and also being able to handle answering those questions during difficult times. And we saw Matt Painter did it when they lost to a 16th seed. They're the one seed, one of the biggest upsets in the NCAA tournament history. He stayed and answered every reporter's question after the game. I gained so much respect for Matt Painter after that. And I have a lot of respect for players that come out with a level head and that have the ability to answer those questions after tough games or tough losses.
Yeah, it's hard to do, man. And it's weird too, because when I started down the path of thinking I want to be a sports reporter, that was kind of the hardest part of even my job in college. Is you know the answer is to a lot of the questions you're asking, but of course, like if I want a quote from you, I got to ask you that question. And I remember at times, I'd ask questions in post game conferences like Coach Williams, and I would just be like, man, he ain't gonna like this, but he's got to, and then there's a certain point, I think, especially when you're a young journalist, like you don't want to be a guy that people don't like, and that kind of like what the connotation is already, like they don't like the media. So, and I think quite frankly, in the context that the question was being asked, I think Giannis's answer was incorrect. Like I do think the season is a failure because it goes back to what we were saying with Van Gundy at the beginning of the year. You don't know if this is the last chance you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to stay healthy. You don't know, you just don't know. You only get so many opportunities to win. But failure is not like this big taboo thing. Like it's not like they failed to win the championship, which was their expectation. So in a very literal sense, they failed to reach their goals, but it also jives in with what the point he was trying to make, which is it's all right to fail, right? It's just a step in a progression. You're not going to win every time kind of thing. So, I think in the way that they were asking it, it was fair. And I think that, but I don't think you could interpret the answer and the question any way you want. So for that reason, I get where Giannis was coming from, and it was a really you could tell it was very introspective, and it was the right answer and kind of kind of the wrong answer at the same time in a literal way. But yeah, I mean, it was just a fascinating. You don't get that much, you know what I mean, especially in those scenarios.
Honestly, and a lot of people aren't talking about this. People may not know about this, but the head coach for the Bucks lost his brother during the series.
Yeah,
and you talk about what people will go through during their job, and that hasn't been brought to light much. And
I don't think they actually found that out until after the series.
I could not.
And he was catching a lot of heat too. Yeah,
I could not.
Unreal.
I could not imagine coaching under those circumstances. I probably wouldn't. But it just shows you what some of these professionals kind of go through.
Absolutely. We on to Carolina. We got Marcus Paige back in the house. He's going to take over, from what we understand, for Jackie Manuel's old position. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Got no idea what those guys did. That's not a slight to anybody. That's a slight to myself for not knowing what's going on. But anytime you got a guy like Marcus Paige back in the building, back around the program, fan favorite, all-time heel, right? That's an exciting piece for Carolina to go along with, some what we talked about last time, but some exciting additions, a little bit more, some more veteran players coming onto the roster, kind of starting to take shape. We got no idea when we're supposed to actually know who's coming and all that, but we do know who left, and they've all found new homes and all that sort of stuff. So Big Hawk, this is your wheelhouse, man. I'm gonna tee that up for you.
All right, guys, we don't have a lot going on. We do have all 6 players that entered the portal. They have decided and committed. So we'll give you an update. Will Shaver went to Belmont. I think that was kind of, maybe we didn't talk about that last pod, but that has happened. Tyler Nickel, Virginia Tech, we definitely covered that. Dontrez Styles to Georgetown, definitely covered that. Justin McCoy to Hawaii. And this one's kind of an off one to me. Puff Johnson goes to Penn State. We wish Puff the best. It's going to be cold. But, all 6 players committed. So we'll see how
Caleb
that turns
to Michigan,
out.
I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Caleb to Michigan. I don't know how. Yep.
Well, we talked. We
I don't know.
Definitely covered that.
No. I have my notes pulled up. It was just one.
All good.
It was all sorted in different ways, but yeah, Caleb's going to be cold too, buddy.
Yeah.
But hey, we're all pulling for you, unless you play the Tar Heels. Hope you guys have a great season. But that is where everyone's going that entered the portal. Listen, the portal is not, we talked about this pre-pod. It looks like our roster might be coming into form, but there still could be some add-ons. I'm not really sure who we're targeting, but we have gotten some good portal pickups. We've talked about it on the last pod. But no, having Marcus Paige join the coaching staff, anytime you can have somebody who has a lot of experience and can relate to the players, a younger guy, I think this will be great for the team. I've always loved Marcus Paige, high character guy. Also, almost hit one of the biggest shots in Carolina history to send it to overtime against Villanova. And I always say, I hate to say this stat, probably one of the best Tar Heels never to not win a national championship. Yeah. And he hates to be known for that, but boy, he was close. He was one close out from winning it. And glad to have him on staff.
Theme of this pod, man, winning is hard and winning repeatedly is even harder. And they won repeatedly. They just didn't get that one. Man, and I'll never forget where I was when that shit happened. Because that was also the team that did more with what it had than anybody else. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess you could argue the 17 title team, but that came right after that. But damn, man, that team was super fun to watch. And anytime you're back here,
I was sitting in a bar in Toronto.
As was I.
I was playing for actually Charlotte. Jerry Stackhouse was there. Marvin Williams was there. And Marcus Paige hit that shot where he jumped up. I don't know how he made that 3-pointer.
That double pump, yeah.
I was running around, high-fiving guys, slamming drinks. I was ready to go. I was excited. And
what's his face hit that? And you're trying to pull the trigger, get them drinks back out.
And then Villanova hits that shot. And I remember Spencer Hall's just patting me on the shoulder. Hey, buddy. We'll grab some more drinks.
You're going to need them. Yeah, that one was tough, man. I was there with my dad, and we were just watching it. This place, random bar in Emerald Isle, the Sharks Den, shout out. Just sitting there, and there was nobody there because it was Emerald Isle in March. And or I guess at that point, it was probably April. And, yeah, man, I just remember putting my head on the counter and, I think I ordered a couple more drinks, too. But, yeah, always good to have him back. Man, here's my advice to Tar Heel fans. I see a lot of y'all out there on these message boards and Instagram and Twitter and all this stuff. Dude, just take this time to relax, man. Forget about the transfer portal. Do like I do. Wait till the season's about to start and look. I promise you that whatever the hell, whoever they're looking for, your tweet ain't going to influence them one way or the other. Hubert Davis don't give a shit who you think we need or who you think should play. So just let them do what they're going to do. And then when it, long about August, September, hell, maybe even October, because it's, log in, download and print out the roster and highlight the names and study them a little bit, and then you won't have anything to worry about.
Hey, guys, how about you guys send your portal targets over to SleepHawk Worldwide.
Yeah.
Tell us who you think would be the best player for our roster, and we'll dissect them on the pod. We'll give you a full breakdown. We'll see, does this guy fit? Is this guy going to bring us? Is he going to turn the season 180 for us? Just make a deep tournament push for us next year. Send who you think would be a good portal pickup for us, and we'll break it down. We'll tell you, hey, this is a great option, or we'll just tell you, dude, what are you thinking? This is awful. Look at the stats here, buddy. We'll break it down for you guys.
Yeah, at SleepHawk WW on Insta or on Twitter. That's the best place to find us these days for dumb shit like that. Other than the transfer portal, I was thinking, do we have a whole lot else going on? Got the playoffs. Oh, the NFL draft. I gotta get there just real quick. I mean, I was a snooze-a-thon.
Hey, guys, Will Levis's girl sleep. Were you? I mean, can you comment on this?
I can't. I'll have to discuss that with management. But we might have to cut this out. But yeah, I mean,
smoke show.
Yeah, I mean, look,
she's pretty looking.
I'm
hey, Will,
be her father.
Hey, I wonder she wasn't there the second day though, right?
Neither was he.
Neither was he. Well, she thought she was. Man, you told me you were top 10. I'm out.
It was messed up, man, because all those pictures just made her look like a huge bitch, and she's probably just like, "Yo, I'm ready to go home." I mean, I couldn't, I'm hungry. Yeah, dude. He told. I read where he was telling people that he was going number 1 to the Panthers, and that didn't happen. He wound up going to Tennessee, which is interesting because Tennessee's already got Malik Willis. So it's like, do they think that this dude was just? Is this a Kirk Cousins RG3 situation where they're just? So, hey, it's hard enough to find one, so we might as well just. I'm quite frankly, I'm intrigued why more teams don't do that. Like, they don't go double down on quarterbacks, because like, if quarterback is the most important piece, all right, and you got a draft like this where allegedly there's 5, 6, 7 guys that could be the guy. Why not just draft as many of them as you can get with your picks and just be like, I don't know, but we're going to figure it out in training camp, right? Because you can trade them, right? You can trade them later if you figure it out that everybody wants a quarterback. So, teams go out here and they draft like all these dudes, these tight ends, and, I'm like, bro, just draft. If you got three picks in the first 3 rounds, there's quarterbacks that, Sam Howell went in the 5th round. If I was like in that draft, I'd have been like, I'd have drafted Sam Howell and whoever the hell else was in there that I could get my hands on and try to figure out in person, as opposed to like, just guessing.
Well, the 49ers took 2, I think, last year, Brock Purdy, and then they took that guy
Trey Lance.
Yeah, Trey Lance. They went
in reverse order. I think Purdy was the last guy they took in the draft.
Yeah,
I think he was Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
And now it sure seems like Trey Lance is pretty irrelevant. Pretty irrelevant, you might say. So, look, nobody knows. The draft seemed boring as hell this year because it was like no real like stud. Like basketball draft, you got Wembanyama and you got some other people. I guess there's just a shorter list of people. I don't understand how these people watch. I don't understand how the damn anything beyond about the 2nd round of the NFL draft is televised. I mean, who the fuck is sitting on their couch watching the 6th round of the NFL draft live from Kansas City? Not me. Washington, the Commanders had 7 picks, had 7 dudes I've never heard of, and I'll never hear of again. So it's like, whatever, dude. Just show me the win column. It'll be like 6 at the end of the year, every year. So, and here's the thing: I posted a poll on, I don't know how to pull it back up, but on Instagram, and Panthers fans, by and large, are hype about Bryce Young. I mean, I don't know, man. Alabama quarterbacks, I guess you never know where they're going to come from. But see, this is the thing. And I'm going to shut up about the NFL draft because it really was snooze. This is the most interesting thing about the whole NFL draft is the shit we're talking about right now, which says something. If I'm somebody who needs a quarterback this year, it's like every year they're just like, oh, I've got the pick. Like, I'm going to take this guy this year. As if fucking Peyton Manning just shows up every year. And you just got to make sure you get him. It's like, dude, why not? Like, everybody's talking shit about the Bears for trading back and keeping Justin Fields. And it's like, well, if you think, for example, Drake May or Archie Manning or whoever you got your eye on downstream, if you think that's going to be the guy, strategize to get that pick then. You know, I don't understand why everybody feels like they got to make a leap at the quarterbacks that are available right now.
I always go for the line. I like to build right from the interior. Yeah. I like the big ass linemen. I'm tired of everybody drafting a quarterback that can toss a ball. Let's get some bigs back in this. Let's make football physical again. I'm sick of this.
One thing I tell you, dude, is I got to get one of them chains, man. Everybody had the same chain this year, that big ass Cuban link diamond chain. Like, we need some sponsors, dude, because we need some more Jimmy's Famous Seafood. I need a Jimmy's Seafood crab cake size chain pendant. If I tell you what, John, if you're listening, man, you buy me one of those chains, I will wear a crab cake, Jimmy's Famous Seafood crab cake pendant on it. Diamond encrusted crab cake.
Get him a fugazi.
Yeah, I won't know the damn difference. Oh man, but yeah. Anyway, NFL draft also snooze-a-thon. It's like preseason rankings and portal transfers and baseball. Nobody gives a shit. I don't know what else we. I don't know what else we got to even talk about. Hurricanes. That's the last thing. There's not even anything to talk about. Hurricanes win a series. Won in overtime, man. Game round 2. Big Hawks back in town, which means, hey, man, we might have to go catch one of those.
Dude, let's go to the Canes game.
Let's do it. We'll go this week.
We'll put a poll up. Should we go? Who are we playing?
Don't know. Also going to Alaska on Friday. So, guys, when I come back.
You're going to Alaska.
I'm going to the, I don't even know what they call it, Salmon State.
No, you can't just say that and get off the pod. Why are you going to Alaska?
I'm going on a cruise.
You're going on a fucking
Alaskan
cruise? No way would I ever go on a cruise.
Hey, listen, man, I thought the same thing.
You have anxiety. Why are you going on a damn cruise,
That's
bro?
a great question, man. Well, because I've heard there's whales, first of all. Besides me. Second of all, my mom, it's like my mom's retirement party. So I'm going with my parents and my wife. She's thrilled. She can't wait. We're flying to Seattle. And then we're going on like a 7-stop Alaskan cruise. Now, everybody says of cruises, like you want to take an Alaskan cruise. I've never been on a cruise.
Dude, the seas are rough, bro. You're going to be seasick.
Well, I know. I hope a lot of icebergs up there too, man. I just seen the movie, man. I ain't watching that shit before I take off.
Sleep. How far is the tip of Alaska from Russia?
I feel like we got a chance to see an old. Like, here's what I'm worried about: is getting out there.
55 miles.
55 miles. I don't think we're going that far out, but I think I'm like, dude, what if we get off here and off to the right we're seeing seals and whales and icebergs and shit, glaciers, and then off to the left we got like a Russian warship off the starboard side or whichever side it is. Yeah, I don't know, man. They said below deck you can go down there and there's like a spa with a glass wall and you just like literally see whales under the water. I'm all in on the whales.
Dude, are you going to get this?
I heard bald eagles are like seagulls out there.
Dude, you better get this and put it on social. I can't believe you're going on a cruise.
100%. I'm going to bring back my stories. I used to tell every time I was with my parents, I would just like document it via story. So you guys got to follow. The other thing is, oh man, what part of it was, dude, we're going panning for gold. My parents are just quintessential parents. We're going to some gimmick. I guarantee it's a gimmick. Because it's panning for gold. I mean, how could it not be? Like, nobody else found this shit in the 1840s. So we're going. Dad wants to go panning for gold, so we're going to do that. We're doing some.
Hold on, is that where you have like one of those metal things and you?
A little sifter. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. That might be where I find the chain, dude. You never know, man. Hey, like a couple years ago, somebody was down in like Alabama and found a damn 70-carat diamond or some shit in a damn place like that. So, hey, you never know, dude.
Sleep, man, I'm dying, bro. I can't believe you're
flying
doing
back on a private jet. Hey, man, listen, man. Alaska. I've always wanted to go. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. I asked Alexa the other day. I was like, hey, hang on a second. Hey, Google, what's the weather in Alaska right now?
Right now in Anchorage, it's 51 degrees.
Damn, 51 degrees right now. All right,
man, that's swimming weather there.
I know. Low of 37.
Oh, boy.
I already vacuum sealed up my Canada Goose. I'm going to have to get that sumbitch back out. They said I'm going to Juneau and the high is 42. I was like, am I going to see the Northern Lights? They said, you can't see it in the summer. I was like, God damn, 42 in the summer. Anyway, man. Yeah, if they have internet in Alaska, then I'll do my best. It's going to be an adventure.
Man,
episode 117 is going to be fantastic. So you guys,
I can't wait for this breakdown.
Me and Big Roll. All right, guys. You got anything else, Big Hawk?
Stay safe.
Ahoy.